Hello, hello friends, and welcome to your daily video. Let's hope so anyway, right? Yeah, daily for a week or so, and then it's going to be dropping off a cliff. But anyway, we're going to try to do our best to make these videos regular, more regular. Now, today's video is going to be about Roxy Music. And, you know, Roxy Music always has girls on their covers. And the first one here is Carrie Ann Muller, and she got paid $20 to get this picture done for the record cover because this is the first album. Roxy Music was unknown at the time, so but who was the band? We got Brian Eno and Brian Ferry. Those are the two founding members of the band, with Phil Manzanera and Andrew McKay. Now the other members of the band, they changed over time, but those folks all stayed the same. Now Brian Eno's only on the first two Roxy Music records. Now you're asking, where's the OB strip on the record, Ron? Well, you know what? It's not a Japanese pressing. What? I know. I had to settle for a first press UK on the pink rim, Island pink rim label. And of course it's mint. I've had this record for, I don't know, at least 40 years. I still have it in the original inner sleeve. And yeah, I really like the record. It wasn't my introduction to the band, but obviously I've had it for a long time and I know it well. I can just get it in here, put it up. What about these inner sleeves? Something doesn't go right. There you go. And now, Carrie Ann Muller. Yeah, you know who she ended up marrying? This guy named Chris Jagger. And who's Chris Jagger? Well, that's Mick Jagger's brother. Now, another thing about this thing, a lot of the cover girls on these records, had been reported, a lot of them, that have be romantically involved with Brian Ferry. But not this gal, no. She married Chris, and she ended up having, I think, five sons. And she was a yoga teacher or something. Now, the next album is For Your Pleasure, and yes, it is a Japanese first edition. Okay, here's the album cover. Now, Amanda Lear is the lady on this cover, and she was romantically involved with Brian Ferry. She was a confidant of Salvador Dali. She was also romantically involved with Brian Jones of the Rolling Stones, and she was she was responsible for the track Miss Amanda Jones that was on Between the Buttons of the Rolling Stones LP. And she also had a year-long affair with David Bowie, in 1975. So, yeah, she's a busy gal on the cover here. On the inside cover, now, Roxy Music was kind of known as a sophisticated glam rock, because here's Eno, Brian Ferry. They kind of wore some glammy outfits, and the LP is on the Island pink rim again, made by King Record Company, Tokyo. And it sounds fantastic. And I used to have a UK press of this record, and the pink rim, and I got this, and I think this one sounds better than that one. Third LP, Stranded by Roxy Music, had another gal on the front cover, and this lady here, she did have, I think she was romantically involved with Hugh Hefner, and that's a Marilyn Cole here, and of course she was modeling for Playboy and all that. That's how she gets involved with Hugh Hefner. But this is another Japanese pressing, but it doesn't have the OB strip on it. Again, it's on the Island pink rim, and now I've had a lot of different versions of this record. This is the only time I've ever had it on the pink rim Island label, though. You know, the red Polydor, and it was on that other kind of a yellowy Island label with the palm trees on it. You know, I'm not sure. I don't remember what the name of that is, but anyway, there's that record, and it's this was my introduction to Roxy Music. I remember they played a song on the radio that I really liked. It was Amazona. Are you familiar with that song, Amazona? It's pretty hard and heavy rock and roll, and that was the song that got me turned on to this. But you know what? As time goes on now, and I listen to this, Psalm, Mother of Pearl, A Song for Europe, those are the songs I love on this record. And then we have Country Life. And we probably all know about the girls on here. They actually were a couple of German fans of Roxy Music, and they posed for the cover of this. And I think they helped Brian Ferry translate some of their lyrics into German too. And because this is a really rare record, it's a first edition Japanese again. They're hard to find with that like this. And again, see, here's what I'm talking about. Here's that Island palm tree label that I was talking about. This is original to this pressing, but I did have a record that it was on this one. Of course, that would have been a second edition. Then I had a red Polydor, which would have been a third edition. And then, of course, originally I had I think it was on a red Polydor and a Canadian press. Well, that was a first edition, though. And so we kept moving up. But now this is the original label for this record, for Stranded, for Country Life. And I just got this. I got one at a record show years ago, and that was on the red Polydor. And I had that for probably 40 years until I just got this a couple years ago. Then Siren. Now I got probably about, let's say, 40 years ago again, when the record came out. Well, it came out in '73, I believe, and I bought it when it came out. I bought it new when it came out on just a Canadian press, and then a few years later I was able to get a UK press, a first edition UK press, and now they've just got, it's on its own kind of a label, right? They started that, and so now this one on the front of this cover, this is the most popular of all of the girls for the Brian Ferry records. This is Jerry Hall, okay? Now she was a roommate of Grace Jones, and 5 months later, after she posed for this thing, she was, I think she was engaged to Brian Ferry. And then it actually, that same year, she met Mick Jagger at a dinner party, and she married, wasn't she married Mick Jagger? So look at that, and another Stones connection with the girls on the Brian Ferry records. Next up, Manifesto. Now, this record is not quite as strong as the other ones were, but remember, this is the disco age that this record came out. And this record is so much better than all that disco junk that was coming out. And of course, I bought it new and I listened to it quite a bit. I really like the record. I think it's really good. A lot of other folks were saying it's not quite as good. It's not, they don't like it, whatever, but I do. I think it's real good. And here's the label. I really like the record. I don't know if I can see the year on it quickly or not. Yeah, 79. So we're just kind of getting out of that disco age at that point. But I didn't finish on this, did I? I had a UK press, first edition of this, and you know what? Every time I would get a new piece of gear or something, I'd put this on because I knew this record really well. And wow, it always sounded so fantastic. I always loved the sound of that record. Would never even dreamed that there would be anything better sounding than that. You know, because this is a UK first edition from the home country of the country that actually has the master tape and made the original pressing of the record. That's what everybody wants to say. Well, that's always the best sounding record. And all these other countries like Japan and whatever, they only getting a copy of the tape, so their stuff's never going to be as good. Well, you know what? When I got this record, and I just got it in the last few years, I was able to pick up a nice copy of it, a first edition Japanese. Yeah, this one is better. I wouldn't say it's a whole lot better, but it is better. It's got more information on the record. It's not lacking bass. It's not got boosted treble. It's pretty close to that one, but it's better than the UK press. That's why I have this. If the UK press sounded better, I'd have that. Definitely would have that. And of course, here's old Avalon. Great record. Avalon. Everybody loves Avalon. I remember, I think one of the first times I heard this song, I was out in Canada, out on a boat, driving across the lake, and that song came on. And I'm just sitting there, listening to that, the wind blowing through my hair, driving through on the boat on the lake. Man, I was just loving life. That's just a great experience doing something like that. And you're listening to this on the radio. And just like the other ones, just a kind of a regular label. And EG Records, Polydor. Okay, now I'm not going to spend a lot of time on these. I have this one. It's not one of my favorite Roxy music players. Actually, I don't really know it that well, but I did pick it up on one of my buying a lot of records from a certain Japan seller, and they had this. I just, I think maybe I paid $5 or something, throw it in the pile. It's nice. And I like this record. This is one of the few Brian Ferry solo records. Now, I've had quite a few of the Brian Ferry solo records, and this is the only one that I've kept. And I went out and I actually got it on a Japanese first edition too. It's a good record. This is a good record. The other ones, they didn't have the staying power for me. And here's Boys and Girls. And it's got a cool picture of Brian Ferry on the back cover. And this one is just I think it's just a Canadian press. I'm not sure. Can't say for sure. EG Records Japan. There you go, Japanese. Should have known better. And this one I picked up in 1990. You know, they weren't making a lot of records in 1990, but I bought this in Atlanta on a trip. And this very sultry lady on the inside. And it's a UK press, it's a double LP, and it's just got a lot of the Brian Ferry hits through the years on it. Out of the Blue. It's not a record that I play a lot, but I did acquire it, and it's a very nice item to own. I really do like it. Love is the Drug, Like a Hurricane, Dance Away, Both Ends Burning. You know, it's got a lot of good songs on it. And you know what? It's almost time for this to end. So I'm gonna stop this video, and then I'm gonna start another one. So I'll be right back. Thanks for watching.